Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Shofante here, and I am back with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a testimony, like my full testimony. On this channel, I have done my testimony, but it was only like partial, and it wasn't really like in depth of what really, went down. You know how God brought me through, but I have been really impressed by the Holy Spirit to just tell my story so that I can encourage somebody like me, another young lady, a woman, a mother, whoever, that it'll be okay. We go through things, but the Lord will bring us through. And yes, bad things happen, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And so I just wanted to come on here and encourage you guys. It's a new year. It's just new vibes. I don't want to keep the things that have happened to me in any longer as well. So that's another reason why I'm sharing my testimony, because people look at you and they think that you got it all together, or they think that you just live this perfect life to where you don't really have any experience in life. And I just want to show that I am human as well. Things have happened to me, and it has shaped me to be the person that I am today. So if you can hear any noise in the background, I apologize for that in advance. Yeah, it's loud down here, and yeah. So I guess I will take it to the beginning of my testimony. And before I do that, I just want to say, please make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel if you have not already. And that is it. Okay. So, let's see. So when I was about, I say 4 or 5, probably 3 at the youngest. I remember me being young. My dad and my mom split up, and they split up, and it was kind of devastating. Like, I remember standing on my grandma's porch, as my dad was leaving, as he was saying goodbye to me. And I'll never forget that day. Like, I literally remember it, like what kind of clothes he was wearing, everything. So that really kind of started my journey into this situation that really took a turn for the worst. And so my mom, she ended up having another boyfriend, someone that she went to high school with. That was her high school sweetheart, and they ended up getting together. And I just remember when they got married, like, that my life was about to change. They got married in this house by this pastor, and I remember the room just like going like red. I remember it. And I tell my mom this day, like, to this day, like, I remember when you got married, like, the room like changed colors. It was crazy. And so the room turned red. And once they got married, and we kind of like was with her and the guy that she married, we were abused, we were tortured. And when I say we, I mean my siblings and my siblings and I, like, we were molested. We were introduced into drinking. We were introduced into a lot of things. And mind you, I told you I was like maybe 4 or 5 years old. I was in first grade, I know for sure. The type of abuse that we endured, I really wouldn't wish it on anybody. And I don't really believe that any kid should have went through it, to be honest. So I won't go into a lot of detail about it, because we don't even talk about it as a family. We don't talk about it as a family that often, and so I won't go into a lot of detail, but I will say that it was sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and actual physical abuse. He used to sick his Rottweiler on us whenever we didn't do something that was appropriate in his mind. And so, like I said, I was in the first grade, and my twin brother and sisters, they were in kindergarten. I'm not a twin, they're twins. They were in kindergarten, and I would have to go get them as a first grader. and I forgot because I'm like 5. I forgot, and I remember when I got home, I got in a lot of trouble for it, and the dog got sick on me, and I have a mark on my leg to this day from it because he bit down into my tendons. Um, yeah, it was a lot of things that happened in that household that were very, I'll say, supernatural that me and my siblings have experienced. And although we did grow up Christian, my grandma, she would take us to church every Sunday. Both of my grandmas, we would alternate. So like my great grandma, she was the one that was really going to church every Sunday, and she would take us to church with her. And let me move closer to the mic, y'all, so y'all can hear me. Like I knew who God was, but I don't remember having a relationship with him. I remember when I was younger, that I always thought I wouldn't make it to 21. Like that is literally what I was told. And I'll even go as far as say it was the devil telling me that, like, you're not gonna make it to 21. You're not no good. Don't nobody love you. So I say all that to say, so tortured, abused, molested. I have saw people get stabbed. We were involved in a drive-by shooting because this person was an alcoholic, but I also think that they were like really into some demonic stuff as well. So that was terrible. But I always have had the discernment of people trying to harm me. One of the people that got stabbed in our house, actually, he was going to attempt to molest me as well. I was in the bathroom, and here he comes in there. Like I said, they were always drunk. They was always drunk. And like, it just freaked me out so bad. Like, I'm literally crawling on top of the sink, on top of the toilet, just to get away from him. Like, I literally got on top of the toilet, and as soon as he came towards me, I jumped down and ran out. And I remember that. I really remember that. Those weren't good people. I'll just say that. So then we ended up moving to this small town in Alabama with my mom and her husband at the time, who was abusing us. Obviously, the torturing went on, obviously. It's really, I really believe it was the Lord that was keeping us. Like, it's no other it's no other way to say it. We had a neighbor that would look out for us, basically. She would take care of us. But I don't remember a lot from that time. Sorry, y'all. Because I have blocked it out, obviously. But I do remember that we just weren't treated right. Like, we were eating raw hot dogs with cheese. Like, it was just really bad. It was really bad. If you see me looking over here, I'm reading my notes because it's a lot, guys. So we ended up moving from Alabama. My mom ended up taking us to go stay with my grandma. And it was just like a whole nother environment. Not that we didn't know them, because we did know them. But we were still young. So that was by like 3rd grade, I want to say. We moved in with her, and like I said, it was kind of an adjustment. I was dealing with a lot of stomach issues and stuff. But what I will say about myself, when I was younger, I was outgoing. Like, I was very, I want to say not happy, but overexcited, sometimes. And I love to sing. Like, I didn't care. I love to dance. I love to do all of that stuff. Very outgoing. I was very outgoing. And then things started to change. Maybe around 4th or 5th grade. That's when things started to change for me personally. Like, we were in anger management and all of that stuff, just to like deal with our emotions. But for myself personally, because I can't speak for my siblings, but I never really have really dwelled on the stuff that has happened to me. I always like have pushed it back to the back of my mind and never reacted the way that most people would have reacted in the situation. So yeah, so fifth grade, things started to change. I started a new school with new people. I was back with my mom, and we were living in a hotel. We lived in that hotel for like a year, and I don't remember anything about this hotel. Well, I remember the stuff about it. It was a nice hotel, but I don't remember the day to day, the in and outs, because like I said, I tend to block things out. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of dramatic things that happened in that hotel though. I'm sure of it. I just blocked it out. But okay, so fifth grade started, back with my mom. Then I started getting teased at school, by these kids. Like the whole the whole classroom. Like, I used to get teased a lot, and I used to get so sad about it, and I would cry. I only had like 2 friends. And only really one friend that really cared about me. Like, she was so sweet to me. I'll never forget it. Like, she was so sweet to me. But yeah, I was getting teased a lot, and I also was getting molested by one of my friends at the school. But I chalk it up to her. Maybe she was getting molested at home or something. I don't know. I don't know. But that's another thing. Like, how the devil was really like, I really feel like the devil was really after me. Not only was I getting molested there, but like I would go home because we ended up moving. So we moved again, and this time we were staying with like my aunties, and it was this girl I befriended up the street, and I went over her house. I went over her house a couple of times, and she would always like try to make moves on me, like try to kiss me and all of that stuff. But in my heart, like, I knew that it was wrong. Like, it was never like, ooh, okay, yeah. Like, I knew, like, nah, this this is not it, you know. So that happened, and then there was another situation where I almost got raped or something. Like, I don't really know. The dude was kind of weird. I ended up running home, basically. So to end that story, so then my mom, she got remarried again, and this time to a different guy, and it was like she almost like picked like the same type of dude, and so the mental abuse, the physical abuse, and all of that stuff started once again. Emotional abuse started to happen. Mind you, I also was being molested by a family member, and I didn't want to do it. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I didn't want to do it, but it was always a fear of something's gonna happen to me if I don't do it. And so that was that other thing of, I really feel like that was trying to be pushed in my mind, that this is who you are, this is what you are supposed to be doing. Yeah. So back to me getting a new stepdad and stuff like that. I ended up getting in trouble for something really stupid. Like, I mean, it was really dumb, and I ended up getting my head thrown into the wall. And I'll never forget this night, because I had to get in a cab in Detroit. I'm from Detroit, if you guys don't know. In the middle of the night, to go all the way on another part of Detroit, bad area, by myself, to go to my auntie's house. And then I ended up moving to Cali to go stay with my dad, which was weird because, like I said, my dad had left when I was like 3. And no, he did not come around like that. I mean, I think that he called maybe occasionally, and he would send some gifts, you know, here and there, but it wasn't like I knew who he was. I didn't know who he was like that. And so moved there. Me and him had, you know, some ins and outs he slapped me. Like we had some ins and outs. I won't lie. That was a toxic situation as well. I love my dad. Like, we cool now, but I'm just saying. Just saying. So don't get mad, Dad, at this video. This is just my testimony, just my story. So yeah, then I ended up moving back to Detroit because I couldn't stay in California anymore. I actually got no, that was after. Okay, so I moved back to Detroit because I didn't want to stay in California no more. I had a boyfriend, like my first boyfriend. He was the first person that I lost my virginity to and everything. And I ended up switching schools because the neighborhood where I lived wasn't the best type of neighborhood. I mean, the school was like terrible. It was like going to jail, honestly. So I ended up switching schools so that I could graduate early. But I didn't end up doing that. I ended up making a dumb decision. Like, you know what? I want to be with my boyfriend. So let me just go back and, be with him. And that's when I found out that he had cheated on me. And like, I was really hurt about it because like my whole life, I literally have been just fighting for somebody to love me. And then somebody saying that they love me and then they hurt me. And that was my first time really experiencing depression. I broke up with him and like I literally, like I kid you not, I stayed on my couch for 2 weeks. I didn't eat. I didn't do nothing. I got really, really skinny. And like even though my birthday came, like, and we went to Ponderosa. Now, if you know, Ponderosa has some really good chicken wings, or did, because there's no more, but they had some really good chicken wings. I couldn't even eat the chicken wings, y'all. Like, I couldn't even eat them. I was so sad. So, yeah. So after that happened, that is when I really started being sexually active, because I wasn't before. Like, he was the first boy that I had sex with, and I was about 17 years old when it happened, and I only did it. It was no pressure or nothing like that. I literally just wanted to lose my virginity for no reason. Like, it was really stupid. I don't know. It was dumb. But yeah. So promiscuity started. I started to drink in high school, so I would like steal the alcohol from my mom's, and they had an alcohol cabinet, and I would take some here and there. It wasn't like I was like drunk, but I wasn't a drinker either, so I don't know why I was doing it. It was like I was just, I don't know, having a crisis, like, but I didn't realize it then. So I ended up switching other high schools because my high school closed down. So everybody from that area, we all ended up going to the same high school, but it was on the other side of town with a whole set of other type of teenagers. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was like 4 or 5 schools into one school. It was really bad. Especially because it's a lot of gang violence and stuff, like, in the city of Detroit. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but different sets, different hoods, they don't mix. So it's a lot going on. So I was introduced again into a crowd of a lot of gay people. A lot of my friends were gay, and I feel like, you know how they say birds of a feather flock together. That's it. Birds of a feather flock together. I really believe that to be true. Like I said, I was hanging out with a lot, and I do mean a lot, of gay people every single day. So I ended up getting a girlfriend. And I mean, it really didn't last long because I already knew that I was not gay. I knew that I wasn't, but that's just what happened. And me and her are still good friends though today, honestly. But yeah, I knew that I wasn't gay. And I'm glad that I did not continue to pursue that, just because of all the heartbreak that I experienced. Like, I don't think that it's worth it, I'm trying to think, y'all. Oh, so then I got another boyfriend. Actually, I got another boyfriend. I'll talk about the first boyfriend first. With this dude, he was really cute. I mean, beautiful. He was fine. Everybody in the school liked him. Little did I know, because like I said, I was new there. He was new there. So It was weird. I'll say that. It was weird. I met him randomly. Like, we never had no classes together, anything like that. And I should have knew right then that it was not a good situation to be in, but I didn't. I couldn't read the room, you know? So I met him randomly. We ended up having sex. Let me actually make a disclaimer as well. If you are a child, you should not be watching this video unless you were like a teenager and you are struggling with this. I don't want to influence anybody. Nothing that I did was proper. I do not recommend it for anybody. Stay safe. Don't have sex. Wait until you're married. Don't do drugs and do not drink. But yeah, we end up having sex in the school. And mind y'all, I did not know him, so that was another red flag. And like every time I would see him, that's what would happen, every single time. And now that I think about it, I was really being preyed on. Honestly, I was being preyed on, and I didn't really realize it. So I didn't realize it. Then I got into another relationship with this boy. He was really nice, or he was nice. I just was not the type of girl that I was. Because of the first breakup, I was really into really dogging these dudes out. I really didn't care. Like, I didn't care if they liked me. I didn't like them. I was just doing what I wanted to do. Basically, that's how I put it, because I don't know another way to really say that. I didn't care. I was messing with everybody. Football player, basketball player, you name it. Yeah, that's what I was doing. And some of the stuff, it wasn't because I wanted to do it. It was just because I didn't want to I didn't want nobody to rape me. I didn't want to get beat up for saying no. Like, it was just a lot. It was a lot. So with this person, I really did like him. I thought that I loved him, but when I think about it, I really didn't. I just really liked what he could do for me. My family, like, it wasn't a lot of support. Like, as far as school wise. They just wanted you to go to school. Like, it was like one day my hair was messed up or something, and I was like, I don't want to go. I had a sty. It was really, I used to get them a lot. I still get them, actually. But it was really bad, and my hair was messed up, and I was like, I don't want to go to school. And they're like, oh, no, you got to get out of here. You can't stay home. Like, they legitly didn't care about me in that sense. I feel like they didn't care. So, like, stuff that I was doing in school, there wasn't any, oh, let me come up to the school and see, you know, what you got going on, or, hey, we're so proud of you. It was none of that. Like, I literally was a terrible student. I graduated with a 1.6 GPA. Like, that's how bad it was. I would skip school inside of school. But I was saying all that to say, he was nice to me. He would, he paid for my prom ticket. I couldn't have paid for it. My parents wouldn't have paid for it. He was just very nice to me. I'll say that. And me and him, we stayed in a relationship for like 2 years after we graduated high school, something like that. A year, because we went together the whole school year, I think, and then the next year, like college year. But he, like, I would tell him that I loved him, and he would never say it back to me. Like, I mean, like, never. But he would say it to these females online. So, like, you know, like when we had MySpace and Crush Spot and stuff like that, he was into the internet groupies, because he was a rapper, and I really like people that are musically inclined, and I just kept picking guy after guy like that, honestly. But he would tell them that he loved them, and I was getting hurt, because I'm like, me and you are like physically together, like physically having sex and all of that, and this is all you don't care about me? You just, what am I here for? Like, what's going on? So I ended up cheating on him, honestly. I can't even lie. I don't think he knew that, but I mean, if he see this video, sorry. It was you, but it was me as well. I could have just broken up with you. But I ended up meeting this other dude at college, and he was a drug dealer. He was dead, and I don't think I can say that word on here, so I'm gonna bleep that out. But he introduced me into smoking, and when I tell you I started to go crazy doing that, I did. I was into a lot of stuff. I was in trap houses. I was out here running these streets, and I wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. It was terrible. I was just making really bad decisions in that time of my life, and smoking was not even something that was good for me. Like, whenever I smoked, I would get paranoid, I would get sick. Like, it's not for me. It was not for me. So okay, so then fast forward like a couple years forward, we moved to a whole different city. I wasn't even in the city at all. I had me a good job. I was living a great path. My parents, not my dad, my mom, but my mom and my stepdad, they ended up getting divorced my senior year of high school. So that's what we moved. We moved to another city. He moved to another city, but it was like literally 10 minutes away from each other, honestly. And we had got past the whole, him throwing my head into the wall, obviously, because I came back and all of that. So he's the one that got me my first job, actually. So I would stay with him when I had to work. And then when I wasn't working and I was going to school, I would just go to, wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I would just go to my auntie's house. And then when me and my mom got an apartment, I would go home, which is not that far, because I was still in school too, in college. And so I met this girl at my job, because it was only me, her, and this other dude, the only black people at the job. And so, obviously we clinged on to one another. But I met her, and it was really cool. Like, we really kicked it off. Like, she was really cool. Like, really, really cool. So we would smoke and we would drink wine and all of that stuff. And one day my mom, she wasn't there. I don't know where she went. I don't know, but I had a little get together at my house, and she invited these two dudes over, and me and the one dude, we ended up, you know, basically kicking it off really well. And so he's like, oh, well, the next time I see you, let's, get together, whatever. And so I'm like, cool, whatever. Because I'm just, I'm down for whatever. Because like I told y'all, I was really going through something I didn't realize that I was going through. But even, well, yeah. So we did end up meeting with one another, and and then after that we were like kind of like inseparable, as far as we were soul tied together. So with this particular person, he was very toxic, and I was toxic as well. I can't fault him and put all the blame on him. I was toxic as well, because I was dealing with my own stuff. Like, I didn't realize everything that I had been through from childhood was causing me to react to him a certain way. And so we were being toxic to each other. But basically, he was a cheater, because we were definitely in a relationship. He was a cheater, and y'all know how I feel about people cheating on me. If you cheat on me, I'm gonna cheat on you. Like, that's just the way the cookie crumbled back then. And so he would get mad that I was cheating on him, and then stuff would get physical. Like, he would choke me, or he would, just do stuff that at the time I didn't see it as being toxic, but it was abusive. Or even try to, like, he would ghost me. He would do all kinds of crazy stuff and have me worried about him because of the type of lifestyle that he lived. And I would feel bad about stuff. And so anyways, he ended up giving me something, sexually transmitted. I don't know. I went and got checked out, because it was getting really bad. It was getting really bad, but I didn't have anything, because I literally, like, back then I really, even though my relationship wasn't like super strong with God, I knew who he was. And so I prayed. I said, Lord, you're going to have to heal me from whatever this is. You're going to have to heal me. And I really believe in my heart that he healed me. Because when I got tested for everything, I didn't have it. And so, like I said, he was cheating on me. I was cheating on him. And I was messing with this other dude at the time. And that dude was crazy. Like, I really feel like the Lord protected me so much in these situations. Sorry, y'all. Yeah. But the only reason why I ended up getting with that dude is because I was afraid. I was afraid for my life. Like, I met him at my job, and like the first day we went on, he took me to an alley. Really made me feel like a prostitute, honestly. And I was scared that if I did not have sex with him, and I didn't want to have sex with him, y'all. Like, I really didn't. I felt like if I did not have sex with him there, that he was going to rape me and that he was going to kill me. And so I just did what I had to do at that moment. Not only that, y'all, because I went far. Yeah, so I was still smoking. I was still drinking, very much so. I met this other guy. I don't know how I met him, but I ended up inviting him over. Like, I would invite dudes over to drink, like, and I would never do anything. Like, y'all get what I'm saying? Like, I would never do anything with them. I just wanted to drink, and that's the first sign of being an alcoholic, honestly. If you just willing to do whatever to get a drink, just go to the store and go get your own stuff, you know. But so I invited this dude over. It was just me and my sister there at the time, and she really did not like him. Like, and this was my first time meeting him, but we had like talked on the phone or, you know, whatever. So I'm like, oh, you don't got nothing to worry about. And I really should have just listened to her at that time, but, you know, stupid people make stupid decisions. And so I ended up going with him to the car. Like I said, we drunk and all of that. And like I told you before, the boy that I was messing with, he gave me something. So I was a little messed up down there, and I wasn't trying to have sex with this person. And so we're in the car, and basically basically you know, I was trying to offer, you know, something else. Like, I really don't want to do anything, but I'm not trying to do that. So I'll do, you know, something else in exchange. But he really wasn't trying to hear that. And so, he raped me, and the only thing I could say was no. It wasn't like I could, you know, do anything, basically. And then when I got back in the house, I kind of just like, I didn't say nothing. I just kind of like let it be what it was. And then like, even after that, I didn't talk to him. Like, I was very much aware that I got raped, but I don't know. Like, he would get on social media because like I told y'all, I had something going on down there, and like try to call me dirty and just like really shame me on the internet. And it was crazy because I'm like, but you violated me. Like, I literally told you no, and you have the audacity to try to talk about me. And it took me, I think, like 2 years to block him off of all social media. And I never told anybody. Like, I never told the cops. I never did that. I just kind of chucked it up to, you know, that's your fault, you know. Although I did say no. So after that, I really, um, like I said, I didn't realize it at the time. I get so hot every time I think about that, y'all. Like, ugh, I'm sorry. After all of that happened, I was still messing with the one guy, in our toxic on and off relationship, but I started to drink a lot more. I had this friend that I worked with. He liked me, and I will say I kind of liked him, but I did not want to. I was sick of dudes. Like I was sick of them at that point. I just didn't want to be with nobody, to be honest. So he was a very nice guy. He's still a very nice guy to this day. Um, I would just drink with him. I used to drink full bottles of Moscato, like the big ones. I used to drink full bottles of those every day. And me and him, we decided that we were going to drink, and like we got really, really drunk, like outside my house, on the curb, and like I was so drunk that I ended up going to, me and him both, we ended up going in the house, and I took off all my clothes and like passed out. And this dude was so sweet. Like he did not even touch me or nothing. Like he just sat on the floor because we had a garbage bag because we was sick, we was done, um and just sat on my room on the floor and stayed there the whole night. Like I don't know why nobody like stopped me from drinking. Like that's what I really don't understand. But I mean, they can't be responsible for me. I was grown. um but another incident that I had with this same person, actually, I had him meet me at this strip club that I knew somebody that was working there, and it was like buy one get one free type of drink. So we bought a whole bunch of drinks and we drank all of them. It was like big cups like this wide. Um and I mean, we were really drunk, like to the point where we were throwing up outside. And I was drunk the whole rest of that day. I really don't remember a lot about the day, but I do remember that I was extremely like just out of it, and I shouldn't have been. I should have never been that drunk, honestly. So not only was I drinking every day, but I was also like working a lot. So I worked 3 jobs at one time. So my first job that I had, my second job that I had, and then I also was working at a strip club. And at this strip club, I was not stripping at this particular strip club, but I was like a waitress. But I might as well have been stripping, honestly. And I really thought about it when I was in that environment. But this particular strip club, you get fully naked, and I wasn't really trying to do that. Like I knew in my heart that it was wrong. Like I knew that it was wrong. So sorry, I got out of there, and then I did actually start like stripping, but it wasn't at like an actual strip club. We would go to these like house parties type deal. I was drinking, probably smoking. I don't think I was smoking because I was really paranoid when I smoked. So I was definitely drinking. But it was like random house parties that we would go to. We would get paid to dance. And then the stupid thing about it was I didn't have to do it. I literally had no reason to do it. Like I didn't have kids. I could literally work, but I ended up quitting. I ended up quitting my jobs because I was really impulsive back then. I felt like if I wanted to quit something, then I don't have to do it, you know. And so I did have bills to pay. I did need to pay, pay rent and pay my phone bill and stuff like that. So that was the only reason why I was doing it. But it really wasn't. It wasn't necessary for me to do, but I was doing it. And it was this one particular situation where we were at this party, this house. It was a big house. It might have even been a building. I'm not sure. But this was all illegal. Let me just say that. All illegal. And so, you got to watch out for those undercover cops and whatnot. So it was this African man there, and like I was dancing, and he's like, oh, come home with me. And I'm just like, no, like something in my mind was like, don't do it. Like, don't do it. And so I want to say when we left, that is when the place got raided. So just imagine. I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful. And then there was another incident because with stripping comes a lot of other stuff. Um, um, sorry, y'all. With stripping comes a lot of stuff. So I remember I told you about the girl that I used to work with. I actually brought her into what we were doing, going to the house parties and stuff like that. And I really regret that. I really regret that. Like me and her, we haven't talked in years. It's been years. Like I really think she hates me. I know for sure that I'm blocked on some social medias. But I want to say, if you do see this, I am truly sorry from the bottom of my heart. I did not. I didn't mean for anything that happened to you happen. I apologize for approaching you in ways that were inappropriate. Yeah. So I apologize for that. But yeah, so there was this one incident where we went to a house and we were dancing, and mind y'all, I was just, like I said, on some dumb stuff, and I ended up basically getting paid to do some things, and I really regret it. I regret it. It wasn't worth it. The price wasn't worth it. It really wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. So yeah. Now all this time, so we can get back to, God and give him the glory for this testimony. All this time, like when I would go to sleep at night, I would have demonic attacks. Like I literally was so afraid to go to sleep, y'all. Like it was crazy. Like I had insomnia really, really bad. I would stay up all night. I would turn my TV on, just so I could feel safe. But none of that stuff mattered. None of it mattered. Even when I was sleeping in the bed with my mom, I would have these attacks, like feel them touching me, crawling on my leg, pushing me down, and cussing me out even. It was terrible. And then I want to say I dealt with that like for like a year and a half, maybe two. I was so tired of it, y'all. Like I was so tired of it. And like the name of Jesus really does work. But I also had somebody pray for me. And when they prayed for me, it stopped happening. It stopped happening. And like it was like this weight lifted off of me. Like I really wish I could explain it, but it was really lifted off of me. So and it actually, before even all of that happened, the same toxic boy that I was messing with, he ended up getting me pregnant, and we had this situation where it was really messed up, y'all. Like if you check out my other testimony, then you'll see more about that. But we ended up having a miscarriage, which was, like I said, a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise for real. I started going back to church, and when I started going back to church, that is when a lot of those attacks started happening. Because when I tell y'all I was out here, I was really out here. Like I was out there. So the person prayed for me. I decided that I wasn't going to drink anymore. I had been kind of not smoking anymore, but I definitely wasn't doing that no more, because I really wanted to get my relationship back with God. And like that is when I really started to get to know God for myself, because prior to that, I didn't really know him. Like I knew of him, I sang to him, but I didn't have that relationship with him. And so all of that time, because I had other strongholds that were holding me kind of hostage. I was in like a make-believe world. I used to play The Sims a lot. I don't know if you guys know that game, but I used to have every expansion pack you could think of. My reality was not my reality. I would play that for days, and I gave up a lot of things. Like, I gave that up. I gave up listening to R&B and rap, and it was just a lot of stuff I had to give up to really seek that relationship with God. And I'm really thankful for it, because I can't imagine how much worse off I would be if I was still in that situation. Honestly, like, I could have been in jail. I could have been dead. I could have been in a lot more trouble than what I've experienced. And what's so interesting about that is, like, I was reading in Genesis, like, you know how God, when he has favor upon you, nothing can happen to you. Like, yes, bad stuff can happen, but the outcome is bigger. The outcome is greater. It reminds me of Joseph. Like, his brother sold him, right? But he ended up going to one of the best houses, right? He got through in jail, but he ended up being the overseer over the jail. He wasn't even really there. Like, he wasn't really in jail. He was the overseer. He was in jail, but y'all know what I'm saying. And then after that, he ended up being the second in command of the whole Egypt. And I just really am overwhelmed by the thought of, although the situation may not be right, if you have favor of God, he's going to make sure that nothing comes to harm you in the way where you can't still prosper. And I'm not saying go live no crazy life. I'm not saying that. I really regret doing everything that I did. Like, everything. I regret doing it. But I thank God for keeping his hand on me. That's really what I want to say. I want to thank him for just being there. Like, all those times I could have died and all those times I should have died. Like, the devil literally has been trying to take me out since I was a kid, y'all. And so I'm just really thankful for God's provisions. And I want to say to anybody out there, any young lady feeling like you got to do all this stuff just to feel that love that you're longing for, or out of fear, you don't have to fear, because God is always with you, number one. Number two, the love that you're looking for is in the Lord, and he wants a relationship with you. He wants you to take that time to get to know him for who he is, and not with anybody else has told you about him, but for you to seek him yourself. And so that is the point of me sharing this testimony. I know it was very long, and I know that it might have been all over the place, and I probably was talking slow, y'all, but this is really my first time really sharing this stuff with anybody. So I hope that it helps somebody. I hope that it encouraged somebody. And yeah, y'all, just remember to keep God first. Doesn't matter what the situation looks like, you will get through it. He'll bring you through it. Just trust him. So that's it for this video. Yeah, I gotta go before I just like keep crying. Oh man. Okay, sorry. So remember to keep God first, and I will see you guys in the next video.